Before we take a look at those course tracks, we want to talk about probably the thing that's in many ways the most important thing to you, and that is the job markets. And it's pretty easy to throw some numbers around out there that they're so huge because they're looking at the whole country or the whole globe, and you can get lost. So what we've done is we've taken a look at numbers just for our city, the city of Seattle, but they're probably quite transferable to your city if it's something of a tech center like Austin or Boston, New York, and of course the Bay Area. So what we've done again is tracked job postings for UX design and content design over actually quite a number of years. Let's take a look at these. So here we are looking at UX design job postings on LinkedIn for Seattle. And when we go in and take a closer look, what you'll see here is that there were about 2,200 jobs posted when we pulled this screen grab, which, by the way, was pretty recently. So what I mean by recently is Q1 of 2023. What's significant about this number is that it is as high as it has ever been during the time we've been tracking it. So despite the headlines you may be seeing about layoffs, there's still plenty of hiring going on for UX designers in certainly Seattle, but this seems to be true throughout the country. Now, you might also look at this and say like, well, that's great, but I don't have senior level experience, so who's going to hire me? And it's a fair question. So on LinkedIn and Indeed and some of the other job posting sites, you can filter the results according to experience level. So that's what we did here. So if you just look at internships and entry-level jobs as identified by the employer, that number drops down, and it's a down, to 410. But 410 is as large a percentage of the total jobs as we've seen in the years that we've been tracking this number. I checked it again today, by the way, and this is about 2 or 3 weeks later since doing this screen grab. Now it is up to 572. So the job market is actually growing for people with less experience, which might seem a little odd given that people with more experience are the ones that have been affected by these layoffs. What's the reason for that? Companies are trying to trim costs. And so they're tending to trim from the top, sending away the most highly paid people and replacing them at the bottom end with people that are newer to the field and thus commanding a lower salary. You see the same thing going on over in the world of content design. Now, that's a smaller, newer discipline. So when you see only 470 jobs for people of all level of experience, that's not a surprise. It is a smaller discipline. But this is a surprise. When you filter this for those entry-level and internship-level jobs, that number is about 40% of the total, which is astonishing. What explains that? Well, the same factors of companies are laying off the high salary wage earners and replacing them with people at the entry level. But there's another factor at play here. And what that is that this being a newer discipline, UX writing maybe goes back 10 years under the term content design, 3 or 4. And so there just are not people out there with tons of experience. And so companies have had to lower the bar in terms of how much experience they're willing to take on in order to get enough people to fill those positions. So content design is especially attractive for those of you who will be coming in at an entry level because that's where the hiring is. So good time, good choice on your part for looking at UX design and content design as fields to enter. So the question is, how do you prepare yourself to enter them? That's where a school like SVC comes in. So next we're going to take a look at the school and what sets us apart from some of the others that are out there.